How you doing, guys? Welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 19th of January 2022. So before I get into the video on Bitcoin today, please remember this isn't financial advice and everything that I discuss is for educational purposes only. So I want to have a quick run through of Bitcoin. We're going to go through the charts. We're going to do what we normally do. But I'm going to preface the video by saying there is a common theme among, influencers and people who have a larger following online, and in the news, that Bitcoin is bullish. It's being bought up by billionaires. Excuse me. It's being bought up by billionaires. But also, JP Morgan has been in the news regarding Bitcoin as well. And I want to kind of, bring everything a little bit back, and we'll just focus on what is actually happening, as opposed to this narrative that Bitcoin is bullish. Okay. And I want to be clear. I don't have a problem with Bitcoin. Somebody actually asked me about this. What's your problem with Bitcoin? There is no problem with Bitcoin. We're discussing it because it's Bitcoin. It affects the broader market quite dramatically sometimes, so we have to be mindful of it. We monitor it. We keep an eye on, certain levels. And when we believe or feel that Bitcoin is going to be moving lower, we make an effort to keep that in mind when we're looking at our altcoins and looking, at projects and so on and so forth. One of the things that it does do as well when you're looking at Bitcoin is if Bitcoin is going to be driving in one direction, predominantly, say in this case down, for example, it really helps to bring out to the forefront those projects or altcoins that are showing relative strength, and not really paying attention to Bitcoin. So bear this in mind. Do the scans. If you go through the top 100, you'll see a few that really shine out. So what we'll do is we're going to clear up the chart, and I'll quickly explain. I leave a lot of this stuff on the chart because I want to bring your attention to certain points. Okay. So when we look at this high that was taken and we kind of track price all the way down, this we will leave on the chart for now. This I'm going to take off. Okay. And we're going to track price going lower. Okay. So we can see that price is going all the way through these liquidity pools, but it makes its end and sensitivity response here within this liquidity pool. So we're looking at the daily chart, and we can say that this daily liquidity pool is the one that's currently being, or was at the time, traded in. Okay. So we will get rid of this because price has traded all the way through all of these levels. Now, the only liquidity pool it hasn't touched is this one down here. Okay. Which is currently sitting at 37,000 to between 37 and 39,000, give or take. Okay. So because price hasn't come down here yet, hasn't been traded to, we can leave this on the chart as a reference point, and we something that we're mindful of. The larger liquidity pool, as it's been traded through, we can get rid of. And as I'm doing this, notice what happens to the structure of price and how visually you can see price is probably going to keep going lower. So I've just removed, the larger liquidity pool. Now I'm going to remove this liquidity pool. Okay, and you can see it's even more striking now that it came down to this, to the daily liquidity pool, and it's, fixed there for a while, responded really nicely. Again, for those that are trying to understand what I'm talking about, look at the reactions. That's the most important thing. The reaction here is something we simply cannot deny. You can't say that isn't a reaction. Even if I remove this, which I will in a second, you will still see the reaction, but we know where that reaction occurred. Okay. So, we've had a nice reaction. Price moved up, started to grind sideways. I've made a reference to this area here, and I was saying if price does come back up here, it needs to get through 46 to continue going. And I explained all the reasons why. So we're going to get rid of this. We're also going to get rid of this. And now as we're looking at the chart, what are we really seeing? We're seeing two primary levels. Okay. We're seeing this upper level, which we are so far away from at this point, and we know price absolutely 100% has to get back above this to take out all of this liquidity, eat into some of these imbalances, and stabilize above 52,000. If it doesn't do that, we're never seeing this level. And that's not just because it has to go through 52 to get to these levels. It's the way it goes through that gives me the confidence that there is buy side liquidity being picked up and driven, and price driven towards that 56,000 level. So with that in mind, and let's just go back here. With that in mind, okay, we're aware of this upper level, miles away from it, but we're very close to this lower level now. Okay, so let's break down this small section over here. So we're currently on the daily chart. Let's go down to the 4 hour. Okay, we're aware of our levels. We know where they are. We're not really too interested with this level up here. We're focused on this one. Are we seeing current flows showing us? Okay, we'll zoom in actually. Are we seeing current flows telling us that we want to come down to at least 39,000, sub 40,000? Okay, let's have a look. So we had pretty much a fractal of the same thing that we saw previously when, you know, the chart was all marked up the way it was. Okay, so we have this level up here. Price has taken out the high, responded nicely. Okay, breaks this low, starts to grind lower. Creates a very nice area of liquidity below all of these lows. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one. Price ripped straight through that, no problem. So this wasn't even significant at the time as price was going through. And it hasn't even made any real attempt, you know, to correct this 2 down candle movement. Okay, this is the sharpest moment. Okay, so from this high all the way down to this low, this is the moment that's the most dramatic, the most volatile, the most, you know, that has the most velocity and was reaching for liquidity very, very quickly. And since then, it's just been kind of grinding messily sideways. Okay, we had that last final dip here, takes out liquidity below these lows. We get a little bit of a reversal, eats into some of this, 2-bar drop or 2 candle drop, you know, and then since it's kind of slowly bleeding to the downside. Now, when we zoom in a little bit more, let's break down each candle and see what the psychology of these candles is telling us. So we can see down movement, down movement, down movement. Price tries to run a little bit here, reverses, and just, if you're interested in doing the study, you see this candle right here. Okay, mark the day of that candle and the time that that candle happened. Okay, and then reference that to some of the news, tweets, and news and tweets and some of the other things that came out during that time to see potentially why that candle happened. Right, and then we get an immediate reversal on the next candle. So it goes up and then it's just immediate, you know, void, done. Okay, not interested, and it comes down again. Then we get a little bit of a move to the upside. So now we're currently sitting between this level and it's make or break for Bitcoin. It either goes up from here and starts to drive towards that 52,000 level and shows some real indication that it wants to do that, or it's going lower and it's going to be hitting, you know, sub 40 levels, possibly as low as sort of 37,000. Okay, so we're going to drop down and we're going to break down this small area here, just to give us a little bit of a look to see whether or not this is telling us anything. Okay, so this is the area that we're interested in. Let's take this off the chart. So let's have a look. So there was your initial lift, small consolidation, negation, drop, takes out the low. Okay, so this is interesting. The fact that it takes out this low and then we've had a nice response away from that. Okay, so for me, it's very, very clear what I'm about to say now. If price gets below 41,000, okay, it's going for sub 40s, okay, because this is make or break for Bitcoin now in terms of that shift in flow. Okay, there is still sell side flows. There's almost no buy side liquidity being picked up in terms of anything of, you know, magnitude, you know, or significance. So as it stands right now, it's make or break. Bitcoin has to move higher from here and start to drive towards, you know, some of these upper levels. Otherwise, it's going lower. It's just the way it is. It's a fact. So I'm going to be very mindful of this going forward. I'm going to be watching this area here that I'm making a reference to now with the cursor, you know, between 41,000 and around about 42,500. That's the key area. In terms of upside, what would I want to see? Okay, for price to give an indication in this case that it's going higher. Yeah, we basically need to be back above 44,500. Above these highs and start to eat into this imbalance. Okay, if price doesn't even show any indication that it wants to drive towards this level up here, then it's going lower, pure and simple. Okay, so and also as well, make a note of, you know what, as I'm talking through the charts, if you really want to learn, listen to the key areas that I'm discussing in terms of price 46,000, 52,000, and so on. And then when I make references to these levels, you know, using this tool, look where they line up. You know, 46,000 between 46,000, 46,800, almost 47,000, and so on and so on and so on. It will all start to come together, guys, trust me. So with that said, I'm going to wish everybody a fantastic day. I hope everyone's having a good one. If you're not already part of the LSP TV Discord, the link is in the description below. We've got a lot going on in there. And if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, please, consider subscribing, give the video a thumbs up, share with your friends and family, and the world. And I look forward to speaking to you guys in the next update. All the best and take care.